Are you ready to see one of the most beautiful and rare animals in the world? It's always a stunning sight to see an albino animal. Like humans, animals can be born with albinism, meaning that they lack the ability to produce melanin, which is what makes all the colors in animals' skin, fur, and eyes. Keep watching all the way to number 1 for the most gorgeous albino animal you'll ever lay eyes on. Before we get on with the top 10 beautiful albino animals, make sure you support us and subscribe to our channel on the bottom right. After that, hit the bell button below, and we are good to go. Number 10. Alligators. Albino alligator isn't just a line in Beyoncé's song Formation. There are real-life albino alligators, and they're breathtakingly beautiful. You're not likely to stumble upon one in the wild, but you can find them in some zoos in France and the US. In fact, one of the most popular attractions in the California Academy of Science is an albino alligator by the name of Claude, who came from a particular nest in Louisiana. An albino alligator is a feat of nature. The odds against alligator hatchlings are already dangerously high. Only 80% of them don't make it to adulthood. So you can imagine how the environment is against an albino hatchling living. Even if that hatchling managed to escape from hungry and powerful predators such as other alligators, bobcats, large fish, and even raccoons and birds, their albino nature on its own poses a threat. That pasty white skin makes them prone to sunburns. That's why there's an estimated number of 24 albino and leucistic alligators in the world, and all of which are in captivity. Number 9. Reindeer. Is that a Harry Potter Patronus or something of this earth? Spotting a white reindeer is a 1 in a million chance. They make up less than 1% of the deer population, and they're not completely albino, though they're often mistaken as such. The majestic white reindeer has a similar uncommon genetic mutation that takes away all pigment for their fur, allowing them to blend into their snowy surroundings. Most of the sightings of them came from the snowy and remote Alaskan wilderness or Norway. In one incident, Oslo photographer by the name of Mads Nordsveen was on a hike with a group of friends in the mountains of northern Norway when he almost missed the white reindeer, almost not seeing it if it weren't for the surrounding snow. According to him, he was remarkably friendly, even somewhat posing for the camera. Number 8. Kangaroos. Kangaroos exist in abundance in Australia, but even where their population is thriving, it's incredibly rare to spot an albino kangaroo in the wild. Tragically, they don't survive that long as they're prone to vision and hearing issues, making them easy pickings for predators. If they manage to get away from them, then albinism-related diseases eventually take their lives early. Among the few albino kangaroos found, most of them sent to captivity to save them, is this extraordinary one, a mother proudly standing 5 feet tall with a normal dark-colored joey. A lot of people have reported seeing a wild albino kangaroo that looks to be about 2 years outside of Australia's capital. Park rangers tried to investigate, but they never found him. Before we continue with a golden animal, make sure you fully support us by hitting the like button. It means a lot to us. Number 7. Zebras. An albino zebra almost looks nothing like a zebra. That's why they're sometimes called golden zebras. But sometimes their colors can range from a gorgeous tan shade to an almost completely stark white. That striped pattern is always present though, which gives them an advantage not all albino species have. While an albino zebra wanders the dusty plains, their unique coloring actually helps them with camouflage, blending in with their surrounding environment. Number 6. Whale. There have been albino bottlenose dolphins, sperm whales, pilot whales, humpback whales, and even dolphins. But the most magnificent one found to date is one albino whale that has been called Migaloo. Migaloo is thought to be in his 30s or 40s, and he's survived against all challenges nature has thrown in his way. He shouldn't have survived past being a calf as he lacked countershading, which is the form of camouflage that most marine mammals have. That's what makes their bodies dark in color on top and light underneath. So if someone were to look at them from above, the mammal would blend in with the water. And if viewed from underneath, their light stomach would look to be a part of the ocean's surface. Without this precious counter shading, white whales are alarmingly easy targets. Their skins also make them more vulnerable to sun damage and skin cancer. Number 5. Dogs. The man's best friend had to make it on here. If possible, an albino dog is even more precious looking than normal dogs. But there's something particularly even more unique when it comes to albinism in dogs. Usually, in rabbits and rodents, this condition manifests in the form of pink irises. However, albino dogs are completely unique. The true telltale sign of an albino dog? Most of them are likely to have blue eyes and pink noses. Just because dogs have skin that looks to be pink around their eyes rather than pigmented skin doesn't mean that they're albino. One genetic test will sort that out quickly if you're unsure. Unfortunately, just like all those who have albinism, albino dogs are extra sensitive to the sun and are susceptible to developing skin cancer. Untreatable eye abnormalities are also a danger, as they can be born with unusually small eyes and deformities of the iris, lens, and other parts of the eye. A poor vision is almost guaranteed, and they can even be blind from birth. Some dog breeds are known to show a higher population of albino specimens, such as Great Danes and Collies. Sometimes partial albinism presents itself as simple spotting on the breed, so if you see unusual white spots on the head or chest of a dog, it probably has the recessive gene, but it's not a true albino. Number 4. Python. What makes albino pythons even more remarkable is the fact that they're not poisonous. That's not to say they still can't kill prey if they want. Albinism didn't take away their ability to crawl around its prey and squeeze the life out of it. You can find the albino ball python in their native home of the central and western regions of Africa, but it goes without saying how rare of a chance that will be. When hatchlings first come in existence, it's impossible to determine which kind of albinism it is, whether it's one of the two varieties, high contrast or low contrast. The difference between them is that low contrast albinos slowly lose those beautiful white markings in exchange for an almost completely yellow skin. On the other hand, a high contrast albino python will always keep its yellow to white contrast. Albino pythons aren't only found in Africa. One incident in Oxenford, UK, had an 80-kilogram albino Burmese python making its way to a woman's doorstep. She opened her front door and found a snake curiously staring up at her. Number 3. Squirrels. 1 in 100,000 squirrels is born albino. And since the gene is so recessive, albino squirrels can even have gray siblings darker in color. Unfortunately, it's that adorable white fur that makes them lose what natural camouflage they had, making them all the more vulnerable to attacks from predators. An albino squirrel's rate of survival is virtually zero, according to a curator at Featherdale Wildlife Park, Chad Staples. He adds, "Predators easily pick them out of a group. Families and social groups can exclude them because to every other member, they look foreign." You can recognize an albino squirrel by the lack of pigment in its eyes and skin, so look for squirrels with red eyes. If you find one with completely white coats and dark eyes, then this squirrel is likely leucistic. So far, there are 2 known species of white squirrels in Asia, but rarely have any been found in North America. In the UK, there have been many sightings of white squirrels, particularly in areas such as London, Sussex, Surrey, and Kent, as they tend to thrive in cities and towns where predators are limited. Number 2. Turtles. An albino turtle is a sight to behold. Not as pale as normal albino animals, these turtles turn out with orange-tinged skin and shell, and red eyes. However, in the animal kingdom, an albino turtle is one of the luckiest and most protected than others. As much as its hard shell attracts the attention of predators, it gives it invaluable protection. Still, even though they may live longer than other albino species, their lifespan is shorter than a normal turtle. Unlike albinism for humans and birds, for turtles and reptiles, they still retain one pigment present. That's why they don't turn out to be completely white, but can appear red, orange, or yellow. One species is especially susceptible to be albino, and it's the sulcata turtle. A few years ago, an albino turtle by the name of Hope went viral. She was born with a pink belly and a heart that beat outside her body. Number 1. Gorilla. Unlike most of this list, there has only been one albino gorilla that has been found in the world. Meet Snowflake, who lived in Spain's Barcelona Zoo from 1966 to his death in 2003. Snowflake was a western lowland gorilla who was found in the Rio Muni region in Spanish Guinea before being brought over to the zoo. When they first got him, the zoo wasn't aware that he was the only specimen of his kind. They sent a message to the man who found him, saying, "Please send more white gorillas." Upon examination, he was found to have non-syndromic oculocutaneous albinism, and although he had poor vision, he didn't have a central blind spot. Snowflake also earned the nickname of the Vanilla Gorilla and Little Buttercup. The Barcelona Zoo eventually hoped to produce a genetic strain, wanting an entire family group of white gorillas like Snowflake. And despite numerous attempts, they failed. Throughout his life, Snowflake fathered 22 offspring, and only 6 survived to adulthood. None of them were albino. In 2001, Snowflake's health started deteriorating, and he was diagnosed with a rare form of skin cancer, probably related to his albinism. By 2003, his health was going downhill and he was euthanized. That was all for today, guys. Let us know in the comments what you thought of these beautiful animals. Which one did you think was the most beautiful? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can keep creating videos for you. Till the next one.